Cheers.
Mhm. Hi, everybody. We're back for part two. We both had some water and are ready to talk about a lot of different things. Okay, but first, it looks like ways to reduce stress. Angela, you had a little more topics for us?
Yeah, so I just had a couple more things that you can do. So I did talk about, it's okay to be imperfect and then focus on positives. Many times anxious and stressed children get lost in their negative thoughts and self-criticisms, especially if this is something that you're noticing, making sure focusing on the positives, half glass full kind of thing about, their future and making sure that they feel comfortable with that. The more you focus on your child's positive attributes, and the good aspects of a situation, the more it will remind your child to focus on that. Just reinforcing that it's to always look for the positives in situations. And then just scheduling like relaxing activities. Children need that time to relax and just be kids. To be honest, some things like fun activities like sports can even become about success as opposed to just fun. So instead of maybe putting them in a competitive soccer game, just, invite a couple friends out and let them kick the ball around instead of making it a sport, right? Have them paint or just do, a tea party or put on a play, just be silly, things like that. I just wanted to throw in there too.
No, that's awesome. And it's true that, like for me as a mom of a young child, it's really allowing unstructured time for them to just, be with themselves and spend some time with themselves, process their thoughts and emotions because they run really high on emotions. And so processing everything and being with themselves is a good calm down, right? As well as, a good laugh and, I still tickle him. He's still young enough that I could do that, but
Yeah.
And laugh is a good remedy too, right? I
was just going to say laughter is like one of the best medicine. I have, kind of going off topic here, I've heard stories about people who have had cancer, and then they just forget about it. They forget about the fact that they have cancer and they just move on with live on with their life and just keep laughing every day. And I've heard stories that it's cured their cancer without any chemo. It's incredible that something as simple as laughing and, not focusing on the problem, it goes away naturally. The body knows how to heal itself. And that's what I teach people.
Nice. Okay. Well, this is amazing. Thank you. So we're equipped now with a couple of tips to try to help reduce the stress, right? And I feel like stress is no longer something that happens to you once in a lifetime. It's something that we deal with every day, right? Every day.
Yeah.
So we need to get habits in place. I feel like, how to mitigate that stress as we not know. Now we know there's effects on our health, right? So I feel like it's really it's like our unwanted neighbor that we have to live with, right?
Yeah. When you think about it though, stress is one of those things that can cause an impact in other areas of your life. You think about it, if you have work stress and you don't learn how to leave that stress at work, you're going to come home with that stress and it's going to affect maybe your relationship with your spouse, maybe your relationship with your family, things like that. And then that work stress is going to maybe get too much for your family and you end up, I hate to even say it, but you may end up, putting that stress on your own family and who knows what could happen just by doing that. So, learning how to deal with it is huge because it is something that we, like you said, that we deal with every day.
Yeah, that's for sure. We have to learn how to manage it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it does have a huge lasting effect on our body. It's important that we, find ways to, different stress. There's so many different ways to manage stress and everybody's different in managing it. You just got to find a way that works best for you and help your kids find a way that works best for them.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It depends how you want to approach it, right? I was surprised to hear that, stress brings cortisol levels to high levels. And so it's it's storing. I was reading this the other day. I was amazed. I was like, oh my God, it's make total sense. It's telling your body to store fats in your midsection.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I just talked about this in my Facebook group the other day about how stress can make you gain weight. It's I know.
So unfair. So
That's,
I don't agree with that.
that's a whole other topic in itself.
Oh yes. Oh yes, but that's how it's linked to even like the child's obesity, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
they go through that, even though some people say, "Oh, what kind of stress a child can have?" They're fed, they don't have to work, this and that. But I think your approach is to help people recognize that stress is affecting our lives, whether we go to work or not, because we're part of an extended family that is experiencing that stress, and so. Like obesity, I was super surprised because you don't always make the correlation, right? Like
Yeah.
stress, body weight gain. It's just
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't, it's one of those things that you wouldn't think would have that kind of an impact, but it does. It is crazy if you don't know.
no. And we had that question the other day in a Facebook group of a mom, Sarah, who I believe she has teenagers and girls, right, specifically, and she was asking how can we help from a diet standpoint, teenagers to grow in puberty in such ways that are healthy, so they don't put on so much weight, and because and I think she mentioned that she now has like a low processing, like a diet with low processed foods and sugar.
Yeah.
It's helped. And so like, what would you say? I think it's lifestyle. All of it is lifestyle, right? Stress is inherited from our lifestyle, and processed foods evidently pushed onto us any way they can, right? So it's a hustle to try to cook without, with good ingredients per se. It's like really like a just choice, a decision, right? We make to.
Yeah. I mean that it is a decision it's not, a diet isn't a temporary thing. A diet is a lifestyle. Okay. It's not, when you think of the word diet, it kind of has like a negative connotation to it, but it's really just a noun for the food that you eat every day. It's your diet. It's the way that you eat. It's a lifestyle. And if you want to eat good food, it has to be a way of living. It can't just be a temporary fix and then you just go back to eating all that processed crap or sugar or whatever it is that you have in your diet. I mean, you have to make it part of your everyday lifestyle. So I mean, I can go in so many different directions here. We did, if you want me to jump back to sugars, or I can to go right into help, what we can do to help our kids through these puberty things. I mean, let me jump back to a little bit about sugar first. I just want to throw out there that, not all sugar is created equal. You have things like unrefined sugars, like fruits and dairy products, and, even complex carbs, like, your grains, your whole grains, breads, pastas, and brown rice are much healthier options as opposed to, white rice, cereal. Cereal is terrible. Stop feeding your kids cereal. And other packaged food, even fruit juice. And of course, soda. We all know that soda is terrible for us. Cookies, cakes, all that kind of thing. You want to opt for those whole grains because they contain nutrients like fibers and they are better metabolized in the body. So refined sugars, they cause blood sugar levels to rise really quickly. And this sudden increase in blood sugar, it triggers the body to release a large amount of insulin. And you should know insulin is just a hormone that helps the body absorb sugar from the blood into the cells so that it can be used as energy. So this causes the blood sugar levels to decrease dramatically and then fall below normal, which causes hypoglycemia, if you've heard that term before. And some symptoms of hypoglycemia include altered thinking and behavior, mood swings, headaches, some shakiness, and even cravings for more sugar.
Mm.
So this craving for sugary foods ends up creating like an addictive cycle of unstable sugar highs and lows. And the more sugar that children consume, the more that they want. So in a way, sugar is almost like a drug. It
Ah, so that's why we see those crazy reactions when we take away ice cream, or like right after the birthday party when kids have had cake, right? It's just they want more, they want more. And if we don't give them more, that's when they can throw a tantrum or something.
Yeah, the body, exactly.
Mm.
So spikes in blood sugar. Again, so sugar has effects on behavior as well. There have been studies that show that a spike in blood sugar that comes from a consumption of sugary foods can cause outbursts and tantrums, like you're talking about in the short term. And then the inevitable sugar crash, right? But when sugars are consumed regularly, it can affect their attention span and their learning ability. And it can aggravate hyperactivity in children with ADHD.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you're setting up healthy sugar habits for their life. Did
Yes.
I lose you?
No. Can you not see me?
I don't know where she went. Laurence.
Do you not see me? Hold on. Let's try this.
Well, hopefully she comes back. If you guys are still watching, I'll keep talking a little bit about sugar. So, one way to reduce your sugar at home is it's important that you check the ingredients in packaged foods, especially. Obviously, things like fruits aren't going to have ingredients in them. It's just one ingredient. And you want to avoid products that have sugar or other sweeteners that are high on the ingredient list if they're listed within the first, top 5 ingredients. Keep in mind that sugars are often listed under different names. Okay, it's not going to say sugar. A lot of sugars end in 3 letters: OSE, ose, fructose, glucose, sucrose, even high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
And they can be hidden in even unsuspecting foods like pasta sauce, prepackaged oatmeals, if you're getting the sugary stuff, even salad dressing and cereal. Like I said, cereal is loaded with sugars. And just above all, teach your children healthy habits by being a good role model, right? It starts with you. Your children, it's kind of like a monkey see, monkey do. If they see you eating a lot of sugar, they're going to eat a lot of sugar, So just emphasize that it should be consumed in moderation. Remember that children observe their parents' habits and will adopt them. So leading a healthier lifestyle throughout childhood and into adulthood. I'm going to see if I can figure out what happened to Laurence here. Guys, give me 1 second.
Wait, can you not see me? Can you not see me?
So that's mostly what I have to say about sugar. Let me see if I can find out where she went. Seems to be having some technical difficulties, unless it's just me. Hold on.
Can you hear me, Angela?
I can't see you or hear you.
Can you see me?
Is it just me?
You can't see me? Can you not see me?
Okay. All right. So let me jump into. I know you mentioned so processed foods. So let me go back here. Processed foods, they contain over, I couldn't even tell you how many chemicals, but it is important that when you're looking or when you are buying processed foods, you do want to limit it. If you're in the grocery food store, you want to make sure you stay, I like to say, on the outside aisles, right? On the perimeter of the store that contains all of your fruits and vegetables, anything that doesn't come in buying processed foods, list. There you are. So the ingredient list, is really the important thing to look at when you are buying processed foods. I don't, again, encourage you to buy too many of them, but there are things that you want to avoid. Trans fats. Trans fats aren't going to be listed as trans fats. They're going to be hydrogenated. You want to avoid those things. So processed foods do have, this negative effect on the body as such, as sugar does. So keeping a child's diet full of whole foods is really essential to creating that healthy lifestyle that they need.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we have comments. Can you hear me? No?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hey, so red would dye. The comment on Facebook on this.
Did you say that again? I kind of broke up there.
Red would dye.
Red food dye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard, I'm not, to be honest, 100% confident that I know exactly everything there is to know about it, but I do know. And I'm definitely if you want more information on that, I'm gonna look into that for you and I'll get back to you on that. But that is something that has been, again, I'm not gonna pretend that I know exactly everything there is to know about all of these dyes and everything that's in processed foods. It's not possible for me to know everything. If that is something you're interested in finding more information about, I will get that to you and share that with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So flavored water, right?
Flavored water. So what kind of flavored water are we talking about? Like sparkling water, or are we talking like, something with artificial sweeteners in it?
Yeah, they don't have it with the sugar, but it's loaded with sugar. Right.
Yeah, I mean, when you're buying anything else, I understand that water gets boring. I mean, I agree. When you're eating dinner, you want something a little bit more tasteful. It depends on what exactly you are buying. There are some flavored waters out there that aren't really going to hurt you. But if you do want to flavor your water, I suggest you do it yourself. Adding things like berries, or what I've done in the past, lemon water is really good to give it a little bit more flavor. Cucumber, throw a little cucumber in your water. It just gives it a different taste. Even, this time of year, you can throw in some berries, raspberries, strawberries, and just let it sit, and you will get a different taste. Flavoring it naturally is the best way to do it. You really want to try to avoid all of those chemicals as much as possible, because artificial sugars are actually worse for you than real sugar, because they are processed, and they're not real. Some of them are like 1,000 times sweeter than sugar. I don't know if any of you are coffee drinkers out there, but when you try and put regular sugar in your coffee, it doesn't taste as sweet as if you just put a half a packet of Splenda, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
do you like stevia?
Say that again?
Do you like stevia?
Stevia. So stevia has like a healthier reputation to it because, it's derived from a natural source. If you are going to use an artificial sweetener, that is the one that I would suggest. But again, I don't recommend using it, every single day in large amounts, because it's still, not as, use something like honey. If you want to sweeten something, honey is a good sweetener. But, I'm not completely against stevia if you need to add it to something. But again, if I ever need to use some kind of sweetener, that's what I put a little bit in my coffee, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I have my dog here that's just begging for attention. So if I'm petting my dog.
Almost done. Hey, let's wrap up screen time.
Yeah, so that's one of the other things that I have on my list for you guys. So now, to be honest, this is definitely something new for me, and it's a new topic in general because you think about the times when we were younger. Okay, we were outside playing. We didn't have as much screen time as these kids do now, so there isn't as much research on this topic as we would like, because it is a fairly new research. But I did have to look into it for you, and I did find an interesting article on time.com that I would love to share with you guys. I'll even give you the link to it that I think is really interesting. To directly quote some of what I read about it. So there is growing data that suggests that exposing your children to too much TV or even computer can have a negative effect on their development, including issues with their memory, attention, and their language skills. Importantly too, it kind of takes away from their social interactions. It's linked to poor progress on key developmental measures such as their communication skills, their problem solving, and again, the social interactions among young kids. So when they're spending too much time on their tablets, they're not, talking to each other. So it is important, to limit their screen time. I'm not saying it's all bad, because there are learning tools that we give our children on these devices that they can use to learn, but just making sure that you're monitoring that and even watching with them. Families can develop healthy media habits. When parents are watching with their children, they can point out like interesting things and contribute to the language skills and learning. So finding ways to, turn it into a positive like that. But again, just making sure you're limiting it.
Okay.
How we doing? How we doing on time here?
I think we're good. We covered everything. We have some technical plans. I think we can close. I want to thank you so much, Angela.
Yeah, I'm so glad I could help. I know I didn't really get to the touching on the puberty thing. Do we have a little time for me to talk about helping our kids through puberty? So, there's only so much we can do. And it depends on the type of relationship you have with your child. You want to make sure that they understand that they can come to you and talk to you and feel comfortable talking to you. So it's important to prepare them, to help them and been to them, because we all went through it. You went through it, and you know what's going to happen. You can tell them what they might anticipate, especially with girls getting their periods. Their muscles are going to be starting to grow a little bit bigger. They're going to get hips, so their hips are going to expand, things like that. And just, making sure that they know that everything is just, okay. And don't dismiss those physical changes. You want to make sure that, because they're anxious about these things, about the acne they're getting, the voice changes, maybe the breast development that, they're getting boobs now, right? Or other physical changes that they may be having. You just want to make sure you're there to support them and keep those lines of communication open. It's really important that you're also patient with them, because, teenagers are going to be moody. Okay. It's the way that they are, or they may have other emotional outbursts, but it's just, again, it's important to be patient with them. But also make sure that they know that some behaviors are unacceptable. But again, keeping those lines of communication open is huge, and emphasizing inner and outer beauty. That's so huge, especially with women nowadays, making sure, even if they say things like that they're fat or they're ugly, making, reassuring her that, eventually your body will calm down. These changes are just temporary, and that she's beautiful. Just keep reminding her that she's beautiful. Emphasize, to just keep doing what you're doing, keep sleeping well, exercising, and just caring for yourself mentally.
Okay. I think we're good.
Yeah, yeah, and I just want to throw out there if so, I'm going to do this is something I've never done before, but if anybody, I have a special offer for all of you hardworking moms out there. So I am offering you all a 50% discount on my program if you are interested in that and learning more about how that health that I can help your health. And this offer is valid within the next 24 hours. Anybody that wants to reach out to me, I will honor that discount. So yeah, that is for you guys.
Thanks so much, Angela.
Yes, I'm so glad that I could be here to help you guys and answer any questions.
I've seen you on Facebook, but you've answered. Um, I have some in my hand, so sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I was like, I don't know. You like disappeared on me. I didn't know where you went.
Sorry. All right. Thank you so much, Angela. I want to thank you and the time and precious and
Yeah, no, I'm so glad. Again, I'm happy I could be here to help. And if you have any other questions on health, just how to get in contact with me. Just reach out and let me know. I'll help you out.
sounds great.
All right. Well, you all have an awesome night.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.